We're in the Strait of Magellan.
How cool is that?
Pretty cool.
It's raining and windy, but not too bad actually compared to what we've seen.
Nah, this is no wind for here. This is zero wind, roughly. But it's all pretty rad.
Let's leave everything and go traveling. See what tomorrow brings. It's only a choice away. Let's back up and leave today. Let's see what tomorrow brings.
Welcome back. We are in southern Argentina. We had hiked around in El Chalten for a few days. And then we resumed our trek south. This time we drove only a few hours before calling it a night, right here on the shores of Lago Argentino.
I don't know why, but this is my favorite thing in the world.
It's so good and so simple.
Yeah, everything tastes better over fire. Oh, that's getting a little, huh? Calm down. Might have to put a little bit of water on it. Tomorrow we'll hit, I keep wanting to say Calafate, but that's the town up in northern.
Calafate, which is similar but different.
Yes.
And
so,
we're on Lake Argentina right now.
Yeah. We got to hike and look up at Fitzroy.
It was really pretty.
Tres Lagos or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just all amazing. We're in the heart of what we kind of dreamt. We hoped we'd get this far south, but we didn't really know.
We're in Patagonia finally, which is crazy.
Otherwise,
crazy to think about.
Yeah.
And it's summer, so it's been really pretty nice weather.
Really nice, yeah. And then the wind hasn't been as bad so far as what people said. We've always found a place to hide and usually pop the top. We've only had the top not popped.
Say that 5 times.
3 times now in the whole trip, really,
yeah.
Right?
I think so, yeah. So, I don't know if we'll get rained on tonight. It's kind of cloudy, but
it happened. But yeah.
We're gonna enjoy our little barbecue and relax for a night. These are guanacos, and they are all over out here. Sadly, we saw a lot of them that hadn't made it over a fence successfully, like this one. We headed around the lake to Calafate, which was just on the southern shore of Lago Argentino, and we happened to run into good old Miguel. So we decided to hang out, and we ended up camping together that night, just outside of town, again on the very windy shore of the lake. We had a little dance party. Unfortunately, you guys can only have little listens, otherwise YouTube will flag this video. We did laundry.
You don't have to stop dancing just because I'm videoing you.
Played some ill-advised baseball with a machete and rotten potatoes.
Two-handed.
Right, so what are you throwing it?
One.
I reckon this
Right here. 1, 2, 3. Yes! You got it! All right. 1, 2, 3. Hit. Yes!
Perfectly cut.
Oh, come on. That's ridiculous.
We cooked some food and just enjoyed being alive right here, right now. This was a sort of milestone for all of us to find ourselves in Patagonia, finally. It had been quite an adventure to get here. It was really cool to be able to laugh, share stories, the highlights, the struggles, things only other travelers can truly understand. It's a pretty special community you gain on the road, and it was really cool to be able to sort of celebrate where we were together. These are the winds that we've heard about. It's been windy for a long time, windy enough that we don't pop the top at night, but this is the real wind that riding a motorcycle, no thank you.
Riding a motorcycle, like you could imagine, already cold, already hard, but then if some rain were coming down, rain hurts when you're on a motorcycle. It feels like little needles. And so this wind and riding, man, that would just be miserable. So we knew, well, we thought we'd hit wind like this. We just hadn't yet. It's just been like normally windy where you're frustrated because it's hard to cook or you just can't cook outside.
Yeah.
This is the stuff we heard about.
So we just left Rio Gallegos, and we didn't really do anything there besides check in with Wi-Fi. And then we're heading down basically as far as you can drive before crossing into Chile, into Argentina. Then we cross into Chile and then back into Argentina and go to Ushuaia,
Tierra del Fuego.
then Tierra del Fuego, then we cross back into Chile, and we're not sure from there. But anyway, so we're almost at the mainland ending point of Argentina right now. By tonight,
we'll be looking at the border between the Atlantic and Pacific Ocean. It's kind of made up, right? Because somewhere down in this part of the world, one side is obviously the Atlantic, one side is obviously the Pacific, but the point just happens to be where we're going right now, that they sort of denote the change, which is kind of cool. And then we get to see the Strait of Magellan, which in a book we were just listening to, a guy single-handed, so solo, sails around the world in the 1800s, and had arrows being shot at him by natives down here. So 120 years ago or so, and you think of how much it's changed, but it's still cool to know that in just 120 years ago, he was here, on a true adventure, solo sailing around the world before your boat had any sort of engine on it.
It's crazy.
Yeah, amazing.
Anyways, we'll update you on the wind. There's not a whole lot to see out here because it's pretty much
Baby penguins!
flat and windy, and we'll see penguins hopefully later today. These guys are called nandu. They are the largest bird native to South America and are related to ostriches and emus. We saw a lot of them as we drove. This little family popped out of the bushes just as I got out to get a shot of Goose going by. We made our way to the southernmost point on the mainland of Argentina, where the Ruta 40 begins, or ends, depending on how you look at it, to one of the lighthouses that guard the eastern entrance to the Strait of Magellan. We made a quick stop to take a picture where, according to the sign, the Ruta 40 begins. Remember, Ruta 40 is like Argentina's Route 66. Then it was time to go see some penguins.
Oh, look at the furry ones, the babies.
These are Magellanic penguins. They got their name because, well, you probably guessed, Ferdinand Magellan was the first to spot them. He was in the midst of what turned out to be the first circumnavigation of the globe when he saw these little dudes in 1520.
So smelly. Woo! Stinky, stinky little guys. All right, we are officially in Chile. Really cool. It's not our last country probably, but man, we've been in Argentina for months now. And there's all of our food sitting in the window there. She's super nice though. Like when you checked, everyone on Overlander says check that you do have fruits and vegetables, because if they find one random one and they plan to search almost every car, then you'll get fined and then they'll really dig into your car. So we had them all in a bag and we're like, yeah, we do have some. And they go, oh, you should have cooked all this. And we're like, we tried, you know, but it's okay. We know we can't have it. And then did she let you keep them on or no?
Yeah.
Okay, so like cured meats you're good
She
with.
said cooked stuff is fine. Cheese
It's just-
that,
It's been pasteurized, I think.
it's been pasteurized is fine.
So, I mean, they're so nice. I know it is the luck of the draw and we know it. And so, like, if we were to write something in Overlander right now, it would be insanely nice. She even looked at the trash and I said that there was like huevos and stuff in the trash. She goes, but it's in the trash, it's fine. I'm like, okay. So we could like pull them back out, which we're not gonna do. But it was just interesting. They were super relaxed, not intense at all.
No, I think because we weren't trying to hide anything either, you know? Like,
Yeah, you're just saying like, yeah, here it is all in a bag. And then, oh, I think I have a potato down here, and she digs in and gets a potato. And the lady was just like, I feel good about this. You guys have everything, you know what I'm looking for.
Oh, like, because I said, oh, I'm sorry. And she goes, no, I'm sorry for you. Next time, cook all of this. Like, you can have it if it's cooked. And like, we knew that, but it's just been such bad weather that we can't.
I know, she to go into, oh, well, we don't really have a good stove inside except for boiling water. So we've been eating a lot of soup and like, okay. We've been throwing egg whites in every soup we've had. We've thrown in like cabbage, carrots, etc. to make the soups more. But when you can't do a big old stir fry in a pot, it's hard to have a ton of vegetables, especially when you have a head of cabbage this big. So, yeah, we're in Chile. I feel like excited. I know it's hilarious because that was the easiest border crossing probably the whole trip. But it's just exciting to be in a new country, and we're going to be in it for what, an hour and a half, and then right back in Argentina into Ushuaia. So. Highway is the nicest outside of maybe Mexico, don't you think?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
All right. We are just about, well, I don't know how long it'll take. Could take a half an hour or more to get onto a ferry. But when we get on the ferry, we're going across the Strait of Magellan. How cool is that?
If you haven't read, I'm going to butcher the name. So in little italics, you can put the correct name. But solo sailing around the world.
Sailing around the world alone or something like that,
right.
I think, yeah.
And the guy went right through the Strait of Magellan. That was 120 years ago. And then
It's a good
natives
story.
were shooting at him, and you know he was shooting back with his Henry repeating rifle. And it's just amazing that we're at the Strait of Magellan.
pretty crazy. And hopefully it's a good ferry ride.
Yeah,
It's a big,
giant,
nice ferry.
It's giant and modern. I mean,
Yeah.
compared to ferries we've been on, I think, people, it's funny, people we know who shipped into Chile and are doing a trip around, or shipped into Montevideo and are traveling around, they posted photos of, whoa, sketchy bridge or sketchy ferry, and we're just like, that's pretty nice, compared to some of the stuff you see in other places. So, yeah, this looks fancy. We're in the Strait of Magellan.
How cool is that?
Pretty cool.
It's raining and windy, but
Yep.
not too bad actually compared to what we've seen.
Nah, this is no wind for here. This is 0 wind, roughly. But it's all pretty rad.
The Strait of Magellan is one of a few routes between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. It was first navigated in 1520 by Ferdinand Magellan himself. That first navigation took 38 days. Today, it takes about 24 hours. Before the completion of the Panama Canal in 1914, this was the safest, most direct route between the oceans. Your other option before the Panama Canal was to take the Drake Passage. The Drake Passage takes ships around the tip of South America, between Cape Horn and the South Shetland Islands of Antarctica. Here, the Atlantic, Pacific, and Southern Seas converge, and it has the world's largest ocean current, called the Antarctic Circumpolar Current, which, because there is no landmass to disrupt this crazy current, it's not uncommon for waves to top 40 feet. The weather out there is unpredictable, with very high winds and occasional sea ice. All of this combines to give the Drake Passage the reputation of being the most dangerous maritime route in the world. But back to the Strait of Magellan. This natural passage is considered to be one of the most difficult routes to navigate in the world because of its narrowness, which varies from 2 miles wide to just over 20. The tidal swing here also creates some unpredictable currents, making for notoriously turbulent waters, and like the Drake Passage, it's not uncommon to find sea ice in the channel, not to mention the high winds that are seemingly always present in this part of the world. So, although shorter and safer than the Drake Passage, this curvy channel can still be quite an adventure. It was amazing to find ourselves on these waters. Like Tim mentioned, we were listening to a book about the first solo circumnavigation of the world by Joshua Slocum. It was crazy to actually be here, where he had barely made it through these waters back in 1895. In fact, he got stuck here for over a month because of a storm, and when he finally did make it to the western side of the channel, he wrote, "Here I felt the throb of the great ocean that lay before me. I knew now that I had put a world behind me and that I was opening out a new world ahead." These waters hold so much history. They have taken so many lives and have been the backdrop to many adventures, new and old. This channel felt timeless, the waters remaining unchanged. And luckily for us, it was a relatively calm day, and we made it to the other side without any drama, where we again found ourselves driving through the windy, barren landscape, this time on the island of Tierra del Fuego. We were almost to the end of the world. Thanks for watching, and a special thank you to all our patrons and YouTube members. We are continually blown away by your support and the community we have gained in all of you. So cheers to you guys, and see you all next time as we find ourselves at the very tip of South America.
All right, we're quitting while we're ahead. Or not.
This time more!
No more! Where's a motorcycle and a tow rope?